With the news cycle that changes so rapidly, it's no wonder that a lot of people may have missed the passing of these celebrity icons. Have no fear though, because we have put together another list honoring all of those that we lost in 2020 that you may not have realized. Welcome to Top 10 Beyond the Screen. I'm your host, Johnny Rogers, and before we kick this video off, let us know down below which movie from the Hollywood Golden Era was your favorite and tell us why. Also, if you don't want to miss another daily video from us, make sure you tap that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Now, without any further delay, let's get right into today's list of the top 10 celebrities who you didn't realize passed away in 2020. Part 2. In at number 10, Naya Rivera. First off, I just want to apologize for not including Naya into our part 1 of this series. At the time of me writing that video, her death had still not been confirmed, and the last thing I wanted to do was just assume anything. Since then, it has been confirmed that she did indeed pass away after saving her 4-year-old son. The Ventura County Sheriff's Office said during a news conference that a body was discovered at Lake Pyro and was identified as the former Glee actress. Rivera and her son had rented a pontoon boat, but a search party was sent out after the boat was overdue for its return. Authorities did locate her son alone and asleep on the boat. He told the rescuers that he and his mother had gone into the water to swim, but that she did not get back on the boat. It was certainly difficult to try and ascertain this knowledge from a 4-year-old, but according to her son, when he got onto that boat, he looked back and watched his mother disappear under the surface of the water.
Grant Imahara. I've been in the visual effects industry for about 9 years now. My specialty is electronics. Anything that lights up or moves.
In at number 9, Grant Imahara. Grant was not only an electrical engineer and roboticist, he also hosted the popular science show known as Mythbusters. While he was a member of the Mythbusters team, Grant went skydiving, drove stunt cars, and came into contact with some of the most iconic characters in cinema history. For 9 years, he worked at Lucasfilms and helped with the company's THX and Industrial Light and Magic divisions. During that time, he became the chief model maker with a specialization in animatronics. Some of his most notable work was on the Star Wars prequels, as well as The Matrix Reloaded, Galaxy Quest, Van Helsing, and Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. His death was announced by a Discovery Channel representative who said, "We are heartbroken to hear this sad news about Grant. He was an important part of our Discovery family and a really wonderful man. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family." According to reports, Grant had apparently suffered from a brain aneurysm that ultimately led to his passing at the age of 49.
Is that right?
Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it.
Now, what we would
Can we
like...
change two things?
Sure.
Stephanie, if you don't mind. One, I'd like to be known as one of the better.
In at number 8, Robert Conrad. Actor, singer, and stuntman Robert Conrad was best known for his role in the television series called The Wild Wild West that aired from 1965 to 1969. Along with a successful career in film, Robert also recorded several pop and rock songs in the late 1950s and early 1960s as Bon Conrad. In addition to that, he also hosted a weekly 2-hour national radio show called The PM Show with Robert Conrad. Although he usually portrayed the typical man's man of that era, he always countered that identity with wanting to be known for simply his acting abilities instead. That being said, he was definitely a very tough man with something to prove. Unfortunately, this legendary actor passed away from heart failure at his home in Malibu, California at the age of 84. A small private service was then held on March 1st, which would have been his 85th birthday.
Doing this, as you know by now, it's probably a worn out old story, but I was like 33 when I started doing this. So it's hard for me to let it become my whole life.
In at number 7, Bill Withers. Bill Withers was a legendary singer and songwriter that passed away on March 30th, 2020 after suffering a cardiopulmonary arrest. Withers was a 3-time Grammy winner and was even inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2015. Bill had an incredible sense of humor and even joked with Rolling Stone magazine that after he withdrew from the public eye in the mid-80s, he would read of his own passing. This would immediately prompt a bevy of phone calls to his home, one of which was a very famous minister who called in to see if Bill was still alive, and Bill just said, "I don't know, let me check." Some of his most infamous songs were Ain't No Sunshine, Lean On Me, and Just the Two of Us, plus the many more. Withers worked as a professional musician for 15 years from 1970 to 1985, after which he just moved on to other occupations. In at number 6, Joe Diffie. On March 30th, 2020, country music fans were saddened by the news that pickup man singer Joe Diffie had died from complications of COVID-19, aka the coronavirus disease. While fans of the singer mourned the loss, some social media users attempted to obfuscate the cause of Diffie's death through further and unfounded claims that hospitals were inflating reported death counts from COVID-19 in order to increase their funding. There is no truth to these claims, nor the ones that he passed from lung cancer, and the hospital did not alter the cause of death. Diffie himself published a statement to his Facebook page on March 27, 2020, announcing that he had been diagnosed with COVID-19, or tested positive rather. In the post, Joe said, "I am under the care of medical professionals and currently receiving treatment after testing positive for coronavirus. My family and I are asking for privacy at this time. We want to remind the public and all my fans to be vigilant, cautious, and careful during this pandemic. Diffie is also in the Oklahoma Music Hall of Fame and was a member of the Grand Ole Opry for 25 years. He also won a Grammy Award in 1998 for the song called Same Old Train, which was a collaboration with a dozen other artists, including Clint Black, Merle Haggard, Patti Loveless, and number 5, Shad Gaspard. On May 17th, former WWE star Shad Gaspard disappeared after he and his 10-year-old son were caught up in a riptide at Venice Beach. Authorities would later confirm his death on May 20th, with the coroners officially ruling that he drowned after disappearing in the riptide. According to the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office, Shad's cause of death was ruled as an accident. The document also confirmed that Gaspard's last act was saving his son's life. According to eyewitness reports, he handed the 10-year-old to lifeguards and then disappeared out of view. The search and rescue crews were unable to locate him until his body washed ashore at Venice Beach on May 20th. In at number 4, Charlie Daniels. On July 6th, Country Music Hall of Famer Charlie Daniels passed away at the age of 83 after suffering from a stroke. A statement was released by his publicist at Absolute Publicity that said that he had passed away after arriving at Summit Medical Center in Tennessee. Daniels was a singer, guitarist, and fiddler who started out as a session musician, even playing on Bob Dylan's Nashville Skyline sessions. His signature song by far was The Devil Went Down to Georgia, and over the course of his career, Charlie received a number of big accolades. Including his Country Music Hall of Fame induction, he was also a member of the Grand Ole Opry. Daniels was also named the CMA Musician of the Year in 1979, and the Charlie Daniels Band won CMA Instrumental Group of the Year in 1979 and in 1980. His religious recordings even won him Dove Awards in 1995 and 1997. By far a terrific musician.
Well, I don't know. Of course, you know, looking back, you think, well, I really didn't appreciate it as much as I should have done. I don't think you do when you're young.
In at number 3, Vera Lynn. Dame Vera Lynn was a British singer whose sentimental ballads during World War II provided the soundtrack for the Allied war effort. On June 18th, though, she passed away at her home in England at the age of 103 while surrounded by her close family. Lynn's 2 most famous songs were We'll Meet Again, which was released in 1939 at the start of the war, as well as the song called The White Cliffs of Dover, which was recorded in 1942. That song was created to portray a patriotic image of a courageous Britain that resonated with citizens of the UK even to this day. Dame Vera had also sold more than 1 million records by the age of 22 and also went on to receive a British War Medal as well as a Burma Star and was awarded the Order of the British Empire. She was recognized as an officer appointed for services to the Royal Air Forces Association and other charities. Later in life, Vera went on to do some incredible work when she formed the Cerebral Palsy Charity. With this charity, she became involved in raising awareness of cerebral palsy in the 1950s when there was very little understanding of the condition. In at number 2, Kobe Bryant. The death of basketball legend Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna in the helicopter crash will be remembered as a day that just stood still. Along with them were 2 of Gianna's basketball teammates, their relatives, and a coach, all of which were on their way to a tournament in Thousand Oaks where Bryant had been set to coach. All of their lives were suddenly taken away in an apparent accident on January 28th, and an absolutely devastating way to begin the year that seemingly just has gotten worse. Not too many news sources named the other passengers, so for your own knowledge, they were Alyssa Altobelli, John Altobelli, Carrie Altobelli, Sarah Chester, Peyton Chester, Christina Mauser, and pilot Areza Band. As a shooting guard, Bryant entered the NBA directly from high school and played the majority of his career in the league with the LA Lakers. Some of his accolades include 5 NBA championships, 18-time All-Star, 15-time member of the All-NBA team, 12-time member of the All-Defensive team, 2008 NBA MVP, 2-time NBA Finals MVP winner, and he is without a doubt still regarded as one of the greatest basketball players of all time. Last but certainly not least, on our number 1 spot, Regis Philbin. The longtime television and game show host Regis Philbin sadly passed away from heart disease at the age of 88 on July 24th. He's most widely known as the co-host of the New York City-based nationally syndicated talk show Live with Regis and Kathy Lee, starting in about 1988, which then became Live with Regis and Kelly in 2001. However, I will always remember him as the host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. His family shared an exclusive statement with People magazine and said, "His family and friends are forever grateful for the time we got to spend with him, for his warmth, his legendary sense of humor, and his singular ability to make every day into something worth talking about. We thank his fans and admirers for their incredible support over his 60-year career and ask for privacy as we mourn his loss." And that has been the top 10 celebrities who you didn't realize passed away in 2020 part 2. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to our editors for all of their hard work. If you enjoyed this video, then please show us some love here by tapping that like and subscribe button. Plus, don't forget to leave us a comment down below with your thoughts on today's list. And for more videos like this one, all you gotta do is tap that playlist when it pops up. From top 10 beyond the screen, my name is Johnny Rogers, saying until next time, stay classy. Although he typically portrayed the typical, switch that up.